It's fine. Go ahead. What's your
No, you said
discussion?
Women should stay in the kitchen.
Yes.
But to be honest,
Or in her case, stay at home.
Oh, we're not talking about her now because
Yeah,
she ate down. We're moving on to me. So you said that women should be in the kitchen. I think cooking is a life skill, to be honest. Everyone should learn how to cook, to be honest. So that's my, counter argument to your point.
Everyone should learn how to cook?
Yeah, it's a life skill.
Sure. But that doesn't refute that women should still be in the kitchen.
Like, it's a life skill. Where do you cook?
So this is what I'm saying. When men deal with women, right, we have to bring a lot of value to the table.
Okay.
Okay?
Everyone brings value.
No, women really don't. And I'll explain why.
To you.
Okay, who's pickier, men or women?
1 second. Do you have a missus? Do you have a girl?
That's irrelevant to the question.
No, like, I just want to know context.
I'm asking you.
I want to get to know you.
That's irrelevant. We're having an objective discussion.
Okay.
I'm asking you. Who's pickier, men or women?
Men are so picky. Men who know their value anyways. Men who have worth or have self-worth, they are very picky.
Okay.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
Who's pickier, men or women of the opposite gender?
Women aren't picky, to be honest. Like, women need 3 things. What the main thing women need in this life is to feel safe.
Okay, again, the question is,
yeah,
who is pickier?
Men.
Okay, see, we can't even have a real conversation because that's biologically incorrect.
Why is it biologically incorrect?
Because women have far more standards for men than men have of women.
But to be honest, would you say you're a man that's making money and is doing well?
Yes.
You'd be picky. You look picky.
But I got in a position where I can afford to be picky now.
Exactly. Women have gone to the position to feel picky.
No, they're not. A woman could be 18 years old and be picky and brought nothing to the table. That's the point I'm trying to make here.
But can I tell you something? I think it's how you view it, because you can be 16 and be picky. Like, you can be like, you know what, yeah, I actually want a poodle instead of a Rottweiler. You can actually be picky. Like, that was a very lazy example, but you can be picky too. I think being picky is very subjective. Everyone
okay, let's go through this, because I don't know if you're debating in bad faith if you can't make simple biological concessions on the discussion.
Okay,
it's very simple.
Biological, right? So
yes.
Men, woman.
Yes.
Coochie, penis.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because everything starts there.
Right.
So once we start there, that men and women are different. They're not the same.
Okay, so
let's go
difference
into
from
okay. You gotta stop. You gotta stop.
Sorry.
Because I'm trying to explain the concept here and why you're not correct.
Okay, go on.
Men and women are different.
Yes.
Men are looked at as protectors, providers, leaders.
Yeah.
Women are looked at as nurturers, and they want a man that's stronger than them, that's going to take care of them. So in other words, women have far more requirements of men than men have of women. Okay? Women are more selective. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they carry children. Yeah. They can only bring 1 child to term per year. Mm-hmm. So when they do have a seed put in them, they need to make sure it's from the best man that they can get. Mm-hmm. Women want quality, men want quantity. Yeah. Okay? So since women want quality, by definition, okay, they're more selective than men are.
Right.
Okay? So what I'm saying is, since men don't ask for much, what we really ask for, the things matter less. Or sorry, excuse me, the things matter more.
Right.
So since we don't ask for much, we want peace, maybe some food, you to not be a whore.
Right.
3 things really.
Yeah.
Each of those things have way more weight. Yeah. So what I'm arguing is, if a woman can't be in the kitchen and cook, she's effectively significantly more useless, because we don't ask for much. Okay. Whereas a guy, he can be ugly, but he can make up for that in other ways. Yeah. He could go ahead and get money. He could be charming. He could be charismatic. He can have some status. Men can make up for their lack of sexual market value. Okay. Women really can't. If you're a whore or you're ugly or you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're effectively useless. Because men and women are not the same with how we mate select. Okay. Okay, that's very important. Since we mate select in completely different ways, we look for different things. Yeah. So when a woman can't cook or isn't in the kitchen, a part of her duties, she's basically absolving. So why am I even with her?
To be honest, like, a woman should learn how to cook as a man should. But obviously you said, back to biology, back in the olden days, women were gatherers, men were hunters.
Okay, let me ask you a question real fast. Let me ask you a question.
I'm not done because I let you land.
Hold on.
So I'm not done. Let me,
no. Because I'm going to test your logic here.
Okay, go on.
Let me test your logic. Because you said a man should learn how to cook anyway. Fair. Yeah. Okay. Let's say you go to boxing class, right? Okay. And you train to fight, right? Someone comes up and assaults you when you're there with your boyfriend.
Assaults me?
Yeah. So
like how? Headlock?
Yeah, he hits you, right? He hits you.
In the face? In the belly?
Well, I mean, he hits you. This is just a scenario here.
Because, like, if it's in the belly, I can take it. If it's the eye, I can't take it.
All right. he hits you, right?
Okay.
Are you gonna what if your man looks at you and says, "Oh, well, you know how to fight. You got this one." No,
Yeah.
you would want him to do what he's supposed to do, which is protect you, right?
No, but like, to be honest, that example was kind of like 2 out of 10, because if we're in a boxing ring, like, that's shit supposed to happen. Maybe if we're in a supermarket, like what you guys have Target here, we have Lidl in Europe. If it was at the shopping mall, then like, you know, I understand where my man needs to.
This is precisely why women need to be in the kitchen. They can't grasp logically sound analogies. Like,
No,
this
but
is
like,
why.
no, but to be honest with you, I'm expressing an opinion. I respected your opinion, even though I might not agree with it. So if I'm talking, you know, you can acknowledge it instead of diminishing it. Because like, can I tell you what your problem is? You saying women shouldn't be in the kitchen, that's not the problem. Women being in the kitchen, like, that's what women were actually grown up to do. They're supposed to take care of babies and be in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's more so your tone and like, you know, the vibes that you do deliver it in. You know what I mean? You might be a chill guy. You're actually a chill guy, but the way you deliver it may be the problem. But yeah, like, obviously you didn't acknowledge my like point.
So
do you remember
I
my
guess,
point?
So it's how I said it versus what I said.
Okay.
Is that the problem? That's the issue?
No, yeah, I think your delivery maybe. However, like, do you know how to cook yourself?
Okay, let's address the delivery.
Can I talk, please? Because I let you land. Where are you from? No, I just need to know, culture-wise. Culture is important. Context to the conversation.
All right, let me address your point on the tone and delivery. Yeah. I think the truth is the truth, regardless of how it's delivered. Now,
Facts.
This is something that I've noticed exclusively with women that I don't really deal with men. Women are more concerned with how the information is conveyed versus the information that's conveyed.
Yeah, but however, if you're in a job interview, like, you're gonna obviously talk. Okay, yeah, like, I'd love this job because I want to work hard. Dead ass, you just need money. You don't really care about, like, they care about your qualifications. They want you to talk, but these times you're there for money. Like, if you didn't need a job, you wouldn't have a job. You wouldn't go to the interview. So delivery is actually very important.
It's not really analogous to what the
to
example,
you,
but yeah.
Are you tired of me already? Okay,
this is why women need to be in the kitchen. Like, I mean, bro, like, this is like, you can't grasp.
Wait, but can I ask you, like, can you cook yourself?
They can't grasp simple concepts. Like,
okay, I'm asking you. I've answered your questions. You haven't answered my questions.
No,
can
because,
you cook? Can you cook, baby? He's tired of me, guys. Woo!
Look.
Thank you.
I said this before. You saying, "Oh, both parties should be able to cook." Yeah. That's fine. I understand that.
Perfect.
But that's why I gave you the example. You know how to box. You're out with your guy.
Yeah.
A guy hits you
in the boxing ring.
No, you're out and about. You know how to box. You know how to defend yourself. But you still expect your man. It's his job
to be honest,
to protect you.
Love with expectations is not. So I don't really expect anything from people. I do maybe expect common human decency. However, like, if I'm walking on the street in Miami, I'm from Ireland. Nobody knows me from anywhere. If someone punches me on the street, I take that shit on the chin, to be honest. Are you tired of me already? Why are you not talking anymore?
You don't make any sense, and you're not staying on topic. I told you before, because your argument is men and women should both be able to cook.
To you.
Cool. Men and women should be able to cook.
Yeah.
I'm saying, if you knew how to box and defend yourself,
yes,
and some guy came in and assaulted you, you would still expect your man to step up and protect you, despite the fact that you can defend yourself.
You're just assuming I'd expect. What if I don't?
You would.
No.
Because the reality is, even though you can defend yourself,
yeah,
you're physically inferior to that man most of the time. So you're going to expect your guy, who is going to be physically capable, or at least more physically capable than you, to do that because that's his job as a protector provider. Same thing with women. So when I say, oh, I might be able to cook, however, you're a woman, it's your duty to do that traditionally, just like it's the guy's duty traditionally to protect you, even though you can defend yourself. That's my point. Just because I can do it and capable doesn't mean that I should when I have a woman there. And if she doesn't do it, she's useless. That's my point. Women are there to nurture their guy, take care of their guy, despite the fact that he might be able to cook on his own. Here's the problem. Women like to obfuscate and deflect from their duties. And this is quite frankly why we have the problems that we have now. Because women will sit there and say, oh, I am, I'm equal to my guy. I don't want to observe these duties. However, I still want you to be tall. I still want you to make money. I still want you to be a protector and a provider. That's a bullshit fucking deal for the guys. So I tell guys, if your girl isn't willing to be submissive, obey you, be in the kitchen, not question your authority, get her out of here. Because I'll be honest with you, just having this discussion with you right now is making me get gray hair. And that's not how this should be. But this is what feminism has done. It's made women think that their nonsensical arguments that don't make any logically sound sense matter. They don't. This is why for the longest time we said women are to be seen, not be heard, because most women don't understand logic and rationale. this is what it is. Like I gave a very simple concept there, and you're like, well, and it's like that doesn't make sense.
To be honest with you, can I be real?
Yeah, sure.
You haven't memorized you haven't like, said any of my points or remembered them. My point was, the first thing I said was cooking is a life skill. But you're saying that doesn't make any logical sense. Why does it make any logical sense?
No, I said a man can have that life skill of cooking.
Yeah.
But when he gets a woman, that should be taken over by the female.
He should forget the life skill.
No, he can keep the life skill, but she should be the one handling it.
Okay.
Just like you know how to fight and defend yourself, it's a life skill.
Yeah.
But if something were to happen and someone were to assault you, he should be stepping up and doing what he's doing because that's his job. See, the reality is, and women don't like to understand this, there's roles in relationships.
Yeah.
I'm just finally holding women's feet to the fire and say you need to hold on to your roles because you guys still expect us to make money. You guys still expect us to be funny. You guys still expect us to protect you. But then you want to sit there and be like, well, I don't want to be in the kitchen. Well, fuck you. Get out of here. I tell guys all the time, if a woman doesn't obey you and do what she's supposed to do, don't date her.
So basically what I would say is, right?
It's not a good deal for us.
No, I understand you. And I appreciate your point. What I was going to say was, usually these kind of mindsets, they actually kind of like come from like upbringing. So was your mom in the kitchen growing up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And your dad, what was your dad doing?
He was working.
Okay, cool. Did you ever, so have you talked to your mom about this point? How did she feel about it? And not from like you're trying to convince her, but like how she thought about the whole experience, like, in the household.
You know, it's funny. I love when women bring this up. You want to know who taught me this?
Who?
No, it's my mom.
Really? But
yes.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you, where are you from?
See, because I grew up, here's the thing.
Because usually like cultures like are very strict with women have been in the kitchen. So I just
grew
want to
up
know
in
where you're
a
from.
traditional nuclear family.
So did I.
Where both parents, my mom knew her job, my dad knew his job, and my mom was the one that told me, if a woman doesn't want to cook and clean for you, she's not worthy of a serious relationship. So in other words, they need to do their fucking job, just like the man's supposed to do his job. But we live in this crazy world where women pick and choose what jobs they want to take on.
But can I tell you something as well? Is it the woman's fault though? You see how the world is right now? Like perspectives have changed. Like people are like not doing things they used to do in the, like, let's say for example, we come from hunter gatherers, right? And in the household, there's traditional roles, women in the kitchen, men working. But we know we live in a whole world where, you get to walk around and call women hoes and stuff like that. That wasn't allowed back in the days. Do you get me?
Because women weren't hoes back then.
Huh?
Because women weren't hoes back then.
To be honest, like, I think there's been hoes for centuries.
For sure.
However, you can openly, as a man, come out in the street of this Miami and say this on a mic in front of people. But you know what? Yeah, I respect that you have a strong mind. A lot of people don't have that. Thank you guys. Get the Just Podcast follow.